Imagine walking into a luxury hotel lobby, dressed simply, speaking with an accent, looking tired, and suddenly, no one sees you. They look through you like you're not even there. But what if that invisible old man was secretly the billionaire who owns the entire hotel chain? Keep watching, because in the next few minutes, one waitress is about to turn humiliation into hope and fire the people who deserve it most. The resort lobby was roaring with laughter, until a quiet plea in broken English was mocked into silence. An old Japanese man clutched his reservation slip as the manager sneered. "Sir, this place is far too expensive for you." Humiliated, he backed away, eyes shining with the kind of hurt no one noticed or cared to. Just then, a waitress stepped out from behind the crowd and whispered a single Japanese greeting that froze the entire room. None of them knew it yet, but they had just insulted the billionaire who secretly owned every hotel they worked for. Kenji Morita stood in the middle of the crowded lobby and felt invisible. Not the careful privacy he had paid for all these years, but the invisibility of being dismissed, of being looked through like he wasn't worth the effort. His worn leather suitcase sat beside his feet, scuffed from years of travel, and his simple gray jacket hung loose on his shoulders. He looked exactly like what he wanted, an ordinary older man on vacation. But he never expected it to hurt this much. The Grand Summit Resort rose around him like a cathedral of wealth. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, windows that framed the mountains like expensive paintings. Everywhere, staff moved with practiced smiles, greeting guests in designer clothes and confident voices. A woman in a fur coat in September was escorted by two bellhops fighting over her luggage. A man in a tailored suit snapped his fingers, and a concierge appeared like magic. The air smelled of expensive perfume, fresh flowers, and underneath it all, the faint scent of judgment. Kenji had been standing in line for 20 minutes. The line had been 6 people long when he arrived. Now it was 3, but he was still in the same spot, because every time he got close, someone new arrived, and staff waved them forward. A couple in matching tennis whites. A family with shopping bags from stores Kenji actually owned stock in. A businessman with no luggage, just a phone to his ear, acting like the world owed him speed. Each time, Kenji stepped back. He told himself it didn't matter. This was exactly why he came, to see how his hotels treated people when they thought no one important was watching. But knowing it, and feeling it, were two different things. Right now, he felt small. "Excuse me," he said quietly to a passing staff member, a young man named Dylan. His English careful, each word placed like a stone. "I have reservation. I wait long time." Dylan glanced, then kept walking, scanning for someone more important. "You'll have to wait your turn, sir," he said, already moving away. The word "sir" sounded like something he was trained to say, but didn't mean. Kenji nodded, stayed where he was. His feet hurt. He had traveled 18 hours, Tokyo to San Francisco to Denver to here. Each flight another layer of distance from the life that collapsed 3 weeks ago. His nephew, his own blood, the boy he mentored, trusted, prepared to take over the company, had betrayed him. Clean, legal, devastating. So Kenji left. No security, no assistant, just an old man with a suitcase and a reservation under a fake name. The line moved. 2 people ahead. Then 1. He was so tired, the kind of tired that lives in your bones. "Next," the woman at the desk called. Her perfect smile dimmed when she saw him. "Name?" "Morita. Kenji Morita." She typed, frowned. "I don't see anything. Are you sure you have a reservation here? I make reservation 3 weeks ago." He reached for his pocket, trying to find the confirmation email. Everything felt scrambled, exhaustion mixing with embarrassment. "Sir, if you don't have a confirmation number, I can't help you," she said, already looking past him. "Maybe you have the wrong hotel." "No is correct hotel." "Please, can you check again?" "I already checked." Her voice sharp now. "Please step aside." Step aside, like he was an obstacle. Kenji felt heat crawl up his neck, that burning shame of being dismissed in public. Then a new voice, sharp and male. Is there a problem here? The manager strode over, looked Kenji up and down, the worn jacket, old suitcase, gray hair, and something closed in his face. Sir, this is a luxury resort. If you're looking for budget places, there are motels 15 miles down the mountain. He said it loud enough for everyone to hear. You can't afford this place. Something cracked inside Kenji, quiet, like ice on a frozen lake. He had built an empire, employed 40,000 people, donated more to charity last year than this resort probably made, and right now, none of it mattered because they saw nothing worth their time. He was about to speak, when a clear voice cut through the noise like a bell. Sama Mason. Excuse me, but perfect Tokyo Japanese, polite and respectful. Kenji's head turned so fast his neck cracked. A young waitress in a simple black uniform, hair in a neat ponytail, walked toward him. She looked tired, but her eyes were kind, and she was looking straight at him. She stopped, bowed slightly, a small respectful gesture that hit Kenji like a punch, then spoke again, fluent Japanese. Sir, may I help you? The entire lobby seemed to hold its breath. Kenji stared. For a moment he forgot everything, because this young woman had just spoken to him in his own language, with perfect respect, and it felt like coming home. You speak Japanese? He asked, voice rough. She smiled, a real smile, warm, reaching her eyes. Yes, sir. I lived in Tokyo for several years. I couldn't help overhearing. It sounded like you were having trouble with your reservation. Behind him, someone cleared their throat impatiently. The desk clerk watched with narrowed eyes. The manager crossed his arms. But the waitress, Skylar, didn't care. She was focused only on Kenji. I have reservation, Kenji said in Japanese, relieved to speak naturally. But I cannot remember the name I used. My assistant booked it for privacy. I have the email somewhere. Skylar turned to the clerk. Excuse me, Rachel. This gentleman is Mr. Morita. There may be a booking mix-up. May I use the computer to help? Rachel blinked, irritated. Skylar, you're supposed to be in the cafe. This isn't your job. I know, Skylar said calmly. But I speak Japanese, and I can fix this quickly. The manager stepped forward, annoyed. Miss Reed, we have procedures. The procedure is to help guests, Skylar said gently but firmly. Right. The manager glanced at the growing crowd, forced a smile. Fine. Make it quick. Skylar went behind the desk, fingers flying on the keyboard. 10 seconds. 20. Then her face lit up. Found it. Imperial Suite, 14 nights starting today. She looked at the manager, voice soft. The top floor VIP suite. The manager leaned over, saw the screen, and went white, then red, then white again. Mr. Sato, he said, voice suddenly dripping respect. I'm so sorry for the confusion. It's ready, Skylar said, already printing the key. She turned to Kenji in Japanese. I'm so sorry for the trouble, sir. Would you like help with your luggage? Before he could answer, bellhops appeared, reaching for his old suitcase, the same ones who ignored him minutes ago. No, Kenji said quietly in Japanese. Thank you, but no. He looked at Skylar, really looked. Mid-20s, kind face, spotless uniform with a small flower stain, straight posture despite clear exhaustion, and eyes full of real kindness, no expectation. How did you learn Japanese? He asked. It's a long story, sir. Please. I want to know. She glanced at the crowd, then back. My father was military. We lived in Tokyo from when I was 8 until 14. I went to local school, made friends, fell in love with the language. It was the happiest time of my life. When we came back to America, I promised I'd return one day. I want to be a translator, maybe work for an embassy or a big company. But university is expensive, so... She shrugged. I'm working double shifts, saving what I can. Kenji felt something shift in his chest. This young woman, working herself to the bone, dreaming big, had stopped everything to help a stranger, not knowing who he was, expecting nothing. He turned to the manager, switched to clear English, voice carrying across the lobby. I need to tell you something. My real name is not Sato. My real name is Kenji Morita. Silence. Then recognition hit the manager like lightning. Blood drained from his face. The clerk grabbed the desk. A bellhop gasped. Kenji Morita. Owner of Morita International. Owner of this hotel, and 63 others worldwide. Sir? The manager breathed. Kenji raised a hand. Silence. I came quietly, because I wanted to see how my hotels treat guests when no one important is watching. Now I know. The lobby was dead quiet. He turned to Skylar, who looked stunned. Miss Reed, you showed me kindness when everyone else showed nothing. You helped when it wasn't your job, when you gained nothing. This is rare. This is precious. His voice cracked. Anyone would have. She started. No, Kenji said firmly. Not anyone. Not today. Only you. He turned back to the manager, voice ice cold. You're fired. Immediately. The desk clerk too. And I want the names of every staff member who ignored me, who walked past me, who treated me like I didn't matter. I will review their employment personally. The manager opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Rachel cried silently. You suggested I try a motel, Kenji said softly. Because I looked poor. Because my English isn't perfect. Because you judged me in 30 seconds. How many others have you treated this way? No answer. Kenji turned to Skylar. Miss Reed, I am creating a new position, Guest Relations Cultural Liaison. Your job, make sure every guest, no matter how they look, what language they speak, or where they're from, is treated with respect. Salary, $90,000 a year, plus full benefits. And I will pay for your university any program you want. You will become the best translator in the world. I will make sure of it. Do you accept? Skylar's mouth fell open. Tears spilled. Shoulders shook. Why? She whispered. Why would you do this? Kenji thought of his nephew's knife in his back, 3 weeks of pain, wondering if kindness was weakness. Then he looked at her. Because you greeted me in Japanese. One sentence. And it changed everything. He took her hand. In my country, we have a saying, one kind word can warm 3 winter months. Today, you gave me more than a kind word. You gave me back hope. He turned to the whole lobby, voice ringing. Starting today, every Summit Resort property, every country, will have a new policy. We judge guests by respect, not appearance. Staff will be trained in cultural sensitivity. Anyone who fails to treat another human being with dignity will be gone. This is not a request. This is law. Silence. Then one person clapped. Then another. Then the whole lobby erupted in applause. Kenji's eyes were wet. Skylar cried openly. Come, he said in Japanese. Help me to my room. I am very tired, and I have calls to make. But first, I want to hear about Tokyo. I want to hear your dreams. I want to know everything. Skylar wiped her face, picked up his worn suitcase herself, ignored the bellhops, and walked with him to the elevator. As the doors closed, Kenji caught one last look, the fired manager frozen, guests whispering, staff looking at each other with new understanding. He smiled, his first real smile in 3 weeks. Thank you, he said softly to Skylar. For what? For seeing me, Kenji said. When I was invisible. The elevator rose, carrying them toward the Imperial Suite, and a future rewritten by one simple greeting, by words that meant home, by one person who decided kindness was more important than convenience. Summer Mason, she had said. Excuse me? And with that one word, everything changed. Sometimes the smallest act of kindness creates the biggest change. Skylar didn't know she was helping a billionaire. She just saw someone who needed help. That's what real kindness looks like. It doesn't wait for a reason. It doesn't ask, what's in it for me? It just asks, how can I help? So tell me in the comments, what would you have done? Would you have stepped in like Skylar, or walked past like everyone else? This story touched my heart. I hope it touched yours. If it did, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it today, and subscribe for more stories that remind us what really matters in life. Thank you for watching.